how about you actually make or create a system for yourself of goal setting as quests? It's a topic called gamification. Have you ever played World of Warcraft or any MMORPG? If you did, then you know that the quests are not necessarily the end game. Basically, you're doing quests in order to achieve maximum level so you can start raiding. Okay? It's the same principle that can apply to your life. And it's a principle that you have always to keep in mind when designing your quest. So there are more types of quests, right? There are certain types of quests like collect 10 bear asses, hunt 5 enemies or whatever, gather 10 red berries. Those are gathering quests. You achieve them by hitting a certain number. So those can be goals such as I want to have $500 in profit in my business this month. It's the same thing. And then you have to think of the reward. What do I get as a reward for those quests? Maybe I get a piece of gear. That's very often happening in WoW and again in other games. So you can say, hey, if I get $500 in profits, then I can buy myself a t-shirt which is $20. Or I can buy myself a mug. Make the rewards inexpensive because you always want to keep the money that you're making in your pocket. But actually, you want to have a certain reward. You can just go buy yourself a chocolate, okay? And that's basically the reward of your quest. So you've got the tag of the quest, the name of the quest, you've got the description of the text, and then you've got your reward. You have to be very specific in what you want. Like, you don't have to write a story in the description, as in, you were in the forest and then you told to yourself that, hey, I could use $500. No, that's BS. All you need to know is just have some bullet points and say, okay, $500, and how am I going to achieve this? Say, I'm paying for promotion through Facebook ads, right? So I'm paying $100 and I want my products to sell way better than they did the month before. Fair enough. Okay, that's one way to achieve your quest. And there are also quests that fail, and there are also quests that are completed. And if you don't hit the hard cap of 500, well, you have to understand and you have to admit to yourself if the quest was good enough and if you failed it. For example, if I would say that by running some ads on Instagram, I'm gonna increase my sales by 1k and I'm only paying, let's say, $50 for the ads. Well, that's unfeasible and that's highly unlikely. So, unless you've got something that's a home run, and if you have something that's a home run, you don't need those ads anymore. Okay? So, this is the first type of quest, the numeric type of quest, the gathering type of quest, and you can implement this in your life. Again, quests are accessible, and quests are mainly a way of advancing to where you want to reach. So, in World of Warcraft, you have your end game, your level, I don't know, 120, I believe it's now, and you want to get there. Same it is in life. So, how am I structuring this? For every quest, I have a category, right? So, say that I want to make the $500 in profit. I have in my life 10 categories, and I'm going to share them in a later audio with you, because right now it's more important to get the specifics right. So, I've got those 10 categories, and one of those categories is building my empire. You have to, you cannot name it such as making money, because that's not empowering, and that's not something that's gonna make you wake up in the morning, okay? But building my empire, that kind of feeds my ego, that kind of leads me to a greater purpose, and I believe it's a really strong way of saying it. So I also have a description of that, and the description is the description of the category, and this is where you can get creative. For me, it is for building the empire. to create a level of wealth that brings me and everyone around me joy and the ability to enjoy the pleasures of life, to be able to do what we want, when we want, with whom we want, and to be able to reduce pain in others and myself. So that for me leads to a much higher goal than actually getting $500 a month. Okay? So that's one category. And under this category, I'm gonna have the quest $500 in profit. And that's basically how just one example works. If you're interested in more and if you want to learn more, I'm gonna have future audios or videos on this topic. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, and reach out to me with any questions about this method. It's a method that I developed for myself. It's a method that I developed using gamification, reading I read 200 books on self-help, and at least 20 or 30 of them were on goal setting, okay? And they were specific about that. So I basically took the best methods out of the best people, because if you want to achieve the greatest results, then you have to learn from the best in the field and then apply them to your life and tailor them to you. So I always loved video games, and this made me want to do this kind of gamification, because goal setting for me is not interesting. I set goals and then I forget about them. Like going to the gym each day, meh. I mean, I had this goal 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago, but actually last year I started doing it because I started this process of actually rewarding myself each time when I went to the gym. If I go to the gym and I have a great workout, I'm allowing myself to play video games for half an hour. Honestly, I love hockey so much, so if I go to the gym for 1 hour, I get to play 30 minutes of NHL. That's another quest that I have. And I'm not going to suck my own, but I've managed to basically work out every week consistently at least 4 days, and that's a massive improvement. It's not 7 out of 7, and I'm not doing weight training. I'm doing body weight exercises, but for me just that took such a level of will that it was almost impossible to do without having a system in place, right? And you can say, why don't you play the video game if you didn't finish your reward? Well, the one thing that you have to do is to not allow yourself. It's basically restriction, okay? And that makes it so painful that you're gonna start wanting to do your quest. Because if I love chocolate, and if my reward is getting chocolate if I go for a 1 hour walk, then I will definitely go for that 1 hour walk in order to get my chocolate if I'm not getting the chocolate from someplace else, right? So this is where restriction comes into place. It's an exercise of free will again, and it's an exercise that makes you feel really happy, and it brings the dopamine back into your life. It brings the whole reward system together. So I'm hoping that this was useful. This is just an intro in the whole topic of basically how to turn your life into quests and into something much greater than it can ever be through the power of imagination. And yeah, if you like it, again, share your thoughts with me. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I'm going to present a much larger video on the topic soon enough, and I'm going to explain you the categories, how I created them, and basically how you can implement the system as well. I hope you're gonna have an amazing day. It's been Victor here, and I'm signing off.